Hello. It's Ciarán with the text-to-speech voice at the beginning of the episode again. We're unlocking a bonus episode for two reasons. Reason number one is that we're doing bonus episodes again, so if you want an extra corner Späti a week you can subscribe over at www.patreon.com/cornerspäti. This unlocked episode is from just before we stopped doing bonus episodes, and I think it's pretty good despite my incorrect Eurovision predictions. Reason number two is that we're all sick or recovering from surgery, so we couldn't record. Sorry. On with the episode.
Yo. Give me a...
Hey.
Can I boost you a bit, I think?
Who else needs a career change?
That's right. Welcome to your weekly bonus Corner Späti. I'm back after a wee break, and I've got some topics for you. I've got some fucking extensive notes, Rob.
Bonus in the in basketball. I've been watching a lot of basketball. It's playoffs.
I've been watching none of those.
Boston's going to win it all.
Are they?
Well, you know. They stayed longer than Phoenix. Pointed out to Nick and Yulia on Twitter. So in basketball...
Nick's on a flight right now. He can't respond. You can bully him.
In basketball, when you're in the bonus, it's when you fouled too many times and you get free throws even though you weren't shooting.
Yeah. And
sometimes topics like this feel like you're just at the line, couple dribbles, swish. No. Why make it hard, you know?
Yeah.
Use the rules to your advantage. Sometimes Kevin Spacey is in Croatia to play a Croatian nationalist. Just take the points. It's smart. It's called being a smart player.
Yeah. It's making some money, you know? Doing the big things. Putting in I would say like his C grade material based on the clip we just watched.
Yeah, he reserves his southern accent for B grade and above.
Yeah.
He showed up the first day on set.
I would
felt it out and was like, "No, I'm just doing normal voice."
I really like the idea of like, now maybe a simple Croat, but what? You said it was Southern Europe.
I picture the next Let Me Be Frank video is him on a yacht in the Adriatic.
Beautiful country. So Kevin Spacey's in Croatia, which we have mentioned before, I believe, on this podcast. But now the clips of the film he's in are circulating. And just get into that a little bit, because I read a pretty great article about everything going on with him, the person he's playing, the director who's making this, and I thought, we're doing a Rob and Ciarán episode. I thought I'd bring a little bit of Rob's favorite thing, movie magic, into this. So let's get into it. So Kevin Spacey, notoriously cancelled actor, is playing Croatia's 1990s president Franjo Tuđman. Yeah, it's Tuđman. I'm learning Serbian. I'm doing this. Yeah, učim srpski.
Why not?
Why not? I'll explain why.
Probably more than Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, probably more. Yeah, the goal is to have more Serbo-Croatian than Kevin Spacey. Does he even know that it's Hrvatska? Does he just think the country's called Croatia or whatever?
Croatia is the Serbian word for slave, actually.
Oh, yeah. Everything is the Serbian word for slave. All right, yeah. So Franjo Tuđman was the guy in charge of Croatia when it became independent, when Yugoslavia was falling apart. Nationalist, big piece of shit to the Serbs, the ethnic Serbs that were in Croatia. Naturally enough, it's the Yugoslav wars. He backed the Herzog Bosnia Stateless, which was basically a war crimes factory. So you got that going on. But here's a lot of his reputation. He's dead now, but at several points he did try to launder his reputation, particularly in the US, because he knows that's where the big guy is. So in 1989, before Yugoslavia kind of fell apart, he wrote a book called Wastelands of Historical Reality, where he questions the Holocaust figures and claims Jews ran the concentration camps in Jasenovac. the big Holocaust, the big center of the Holocaust in what is Croatia today. That was in reality run by the Ustasha.
You don't say.
Yeah, right. Anyway, in 1997, during the Clinton years, he translated the book into English and removed that chapter that mentioned all that wackier stuff.
Well, I guess he's going for it. You think he would just, like, if it sold well, just, like, slip it into the second edition? Like when it's
new forward.
Yeah, new forward from the author.
As the big sticker on the front of it tell you was a new forward, like new edition. Yeah, we ever heard of Jasenovic? Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so the film is being directed by Jakov Sedler, which is kind of notorious in the former Yugoslavia. Jakov. So he's gotten the title of Croatia's official propagandist. He was personal friends with Tudjman. In 1997, same time this book was coming out, he directed a documentary about Tudjman called Croatian George Washington, which was intended again for an American audience to kind of be like, this is our George Washington, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was narrated by Martin Sheen, who apparently at the time was not doing well financially. You may know that this is Jakov Sedler's tactic for getting his star power is just wait until you're massively in debt. And
I really don't know Martin Sheen's angle. Does he have strong feelings about the Balkan politics?
No, I think he was just in the early in 1997. He was just like pre West Wing. He was just financially fucked. Anyway, it does the classic thing all Croatian nationalists do, which you also saw from that clip, which is like Croatia was oppressed under Yugoslavia, which is not really true. Croatian nationalists were, because a lot of them were Ustasha, but
But sure, why not? It's like you could tell American, like you could make up a country and be like, we were oppressed by this, and everyone would be like, oh, guess you're George Washington.
I'm the George Washington.
Yeah, we're gonna get Al Pacino to narrate your documentary. Go for it.
This director got me feeling like Croat George Washington.
There's enough George Washingtons to go around. George Washington for every country. That is literally the American promise.
May a million George Washingtons blue. All right, so. Around the same time, in late 90s, to go along with this movie, he hired an indebted American screenwriter by the name of Joe Tripasian, I'm going to assume Armenian American, to write a biography, but Tripasian was a bit more principled than that. Here's a quote from him. They were doing a whole campaign to build up the tourism and the economy, but also specifically to keep Tudjman out of the Hague. That was the reason for this book.
That's smart legal strategy, because if there's a book about you,
yeah, you can't go to the Hague
if you sold at least 17 copies of a book in an airport.
Yeah,
you can't be put on trial in the Hague.
Yeah, if you ever get to the top of the New York Times bestseller list, every author who's done that just goes to the Netherlands and goes safe. Throws their hands up.
It has been a Star Alliance sales, but otherwise you're clear.
Anyway, over the years, though, Jakov Sedler has been disowned by the HTZ. This is the center right party of Croatia, the legacy of Tudjman, and for going a bit too far right. So I want to give you the IMDb listing of his films since 2015 or so. So 2015, he does My Beloved Croatia, which is about a footballer who is notorious, a Josip Simonic, who chanted the Ustasha slogan of Za dom spremni, for the homeland, multiple times at a football match. And the movie was about nah, that was cool, actually, it's fine.
The entire movie, I mean, I haven't seen this movie, but I imagine it all builds up. It's like Invictus or something.
Yeah,
it all depends on, you have to say the slogan in order to win the big game.
I really like the idea that it's just building, and then the like final shot is him like part way through doing like a Roman salute, and just cuts to black before like the final crescendo. 2016 with a spicy title of Yasenovek, The Truth.
We are. There's pedal to the metal. That's just 1 year.
If like this footballer shit, let me do Holocaust revisionism. Which again, like his friend Tudjman, downplays the role of the Ustasha's involvement in Yasenovek. 2018, 100 years of Serbian terror in Croatia, 1918 to 2018. So,
well, at least it's over.
What are the last 10 minutes of that film like? What is 1990 to 2018 like? Because I understand the Croatian nationalist narrative that like Yugoslavia was just like a Serbian puppet state and we weren't really free under it. Like I understand that narrative, but like to say that the Serbian terror continues to 2018, I'm looking for that third act of that film. I want to watch that. Then there's a 2019 documentary.
Oh no.
Did you read ahead of it? Did you read ahead of it?
How big? How terrible can he go?
Do you want to read the title of this film in the Italian? This is the fucking dumbest ass name I've ever heard. All right, so here's what the movie's about, right? It depicts how Albanians helped Jewish people during World War II, because I guess he's taken on, as a Croatian nationalist, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So the Croatian-Albanian alliance against the Serbs, I guess. The film is called The Hug of Destiny.
Where's my Hug of Destiny
That's
at?
like that's the subtitle for Kung Fu Panda 4. Like,
some people need a hug, and it is their destiny.
Destiny
to get the hug.
All right, so that's the director we're dealing with.
Well, there's no man but Kevin Spacey for the job. I'm sold. Who else but Kevin Spacey could follow up the Hug of Destiny?
Yeah,
it's like you nailed it. You can do whatever you want after such a triumph like the Hug of Destiny.
I feel like there's a James Franco, Seth Rogen buddy comedy film in the like story of Kevin Spacey being like so washed up he has to work with some fucked director from the Balkans. I'd watch that film.
Hey, at least it's work.
Yeah, right? So Spacey announced that he was going to be in this film via an exclusive interview he gave to Hrvatski Tjednik, which is newspaper with a bit of a storied past and reputation. In March 2019, it labeled the Croatian state ombudsperson and representatives of the country's Jewish and Serbian minorities as, quote, the horsemen of the greater Serbian apocalypse in Croatia. Referred to the Pope Francis as the Antichrist. Claimed COVID-19 was a global satanic biological warfare operation aimed at inserting microchips into people through vaccination in order to monitor and treat people like cattle.
And get this, they also did an exclusive interview with Kevin Spacey. Just going off the rails.
Yeah, it's a bit of like the guy from Hrvatski Tjednik like sitting down is like, well, this is a bit of a departure in form for us, but you know,
their giant.
They tell me you're big.
Their giant headline: "Let him be frank."
Yeah, there's like an exclusive, whatever, 5th season of House of Cards being shot in Croatia.
There has to be other examples of this. I could be mangling the details, but wasn't it that David Hasselhoff, like the reason he like ended up like a sun-kissed child, for the fall of the Berlin Wall was that his like career was stagnating in the U.S. and it's like, well, people in Europe love me, so I'm just gonna go to Austria.
The way he tells the story now is that like it was by complete chance that his music became big in Germany, but like I can totally imagine him making that up. I mean, I guess something comparable was right before the war broke out, Louis C.K. was going to go do stand up in Kiev. Mm-hmm. So like that's kind of similar. Like
I just feel like especially that's an aspect of American soft power, I guess you can call it, which is that Your agent has like a few countries on,
there's a
on speed
backup.
dial. That's like honestly, that's like a rap line. My agent's got countries on speed dial.
My agent's got countries on speed dial you've never heard of.
I can go do a tour right now. In Estonia, dude.
I can become a movie star like that in a country that was made up for a Marvel film. Yo, dude, I'm the biggest fucking actor in Sconovia. But I am looking forward to this possibly extended Balkan universe where like there's the kind of cancelled actors Avengers where like,
well, it would be DC because come on, you know.
No, I mean
they're the ones who will go there.
Oh, for sure,
but dark universe.
No, but like I think we do all these biopics and eventually it comes up to the biggest movie event in Belgrade where we do cancel comedians _ Yugoslav wars. Like after we do like the Louis C.K. plays Milanovic biopic, we get like I don't know who's another good cancelled like person that we could get to like play a member of the like Kosovo Liberation Army or something like that.
Aziz Ansari.
Yeah. I'm Albanian.
Yeah, it could literally be the Expendables. They're like, all right, we're here. I'm assembling a team.
Bringing a team together. We're ending Yugoslavia. Oh yeah. So there you go. Let's
keep your eyes peeled for that. Kevin Spacey.
The silver screen.
Playing again, that's the Croatian George Washington.
Franjo Tudjman.
He could never tell a lie.
Well, he can never tell a lie anyway. Here's what his book said about the Holocaust.
I mean, that is a pretty good claim. He's like, no, he's George Washington, dude. He can't lie. That's what it
Wasn't
means.
that Lincoln?
I think it was George Washington. Oh, fuck. Am I mixing them up? Lincoln also...
It was Honest Abe.
Yeah, but then George Washington also had something about never lying.
He had wooden teeth. This is what I understand about America.
He chopped down a cherry tree.
And
then he felt bad about it, so he told his parents or something, and then they're like...
What?
I'm telling you, this is a thing.
American creation myths are so fucking stupid.
Do you want me to read it to you real quick?
I bet Washington never did war crimes in Bosnia.
I feel like this is covering up a war crime. This just cherry tree analogy. This sounds like
the cherry tree was
like
the like
deep
maid,
state.
Was the maid the family hired.
I'm reading this from the official website of the George Washington estate.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just I don't know if the listeners care about this. Okay. When Washington was 6 years old, he received a hatchet as a gift and damaged his father's cherry tree.
Yeah.
When his father discovered what he had done, he became angry and confronted him. Young George bravely said, "I cannot tell a lie. I did cut it with my hatchet." Washington's father embraced him and rejoiced that his son's honesty was worth more than 1,000 trees.
Yeah.
That's a strong, my woke 6-year-old.
Yo, my toddler just said, why don't these people vote? My toddler just said, Black Lives Matter.
My 6-year-old George Washington just said, if you're still in line, stay in line.
And then we wrote a book about what happened.
Would a 6-year-old lie to you about the Holocaust? That's all. That's all
What a 6-year-old lie to you about the Eustachio's involvement in Jasenovic? I think not. Eurovision, baby.
All right.
That's the other topic.
Let's talk about some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Woo! Take the floor, Ciarán. How was Eurovision this year?
Eurovision was pretty good. I had a good time. It was a good competition. It was very much a competition for second place. But sure. For anyone who doesn't know, Ukraine won with 600 points after getting like 400 and something points from the jury, or not from the public.
Is it weighted? Like, can you compare all time with all time scores?
Can you do that? I think no, because they've changed how they display the points now, because they separated the jury and the public vote. It used to be you get them at once. I know Norway held the old record for winning with the most points.
Oh.
With a little boy, not a boy, I mean he was like 20 something, but who played violin and sung a song called Fairy Tale. He's knocking around still. Yeah.
Did he have a cool pink hat?
No, he did not have a cool pink hat. So you have thoughts about Kalush Orchestra and their entry?
Okay. First of all, the guy, I do not know my instruments. The flautist. Yeah. He was in the band last year too.
I'm not sure if that's the guy, but one of the members is from Goa. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, who's also in Goa.
So strong.
Go underscore A, not to be confused with some Goa shit, which was France's entry this year.
I love both of them. Let me just put it that way. They had a great song last year. The first 30 or so seconds of the song was great this year. Great chorus. And then
you just don't like the rapping.
There's just the guy who was like, "What if I rap really fast?"
Yeah,
it was not. I was let down, and yet maybe the worst part about it was he can do whatever he wants because they're gonna win. You could literally put anything in as the verse, solid song.
Yeah,
and it's gonna win. They should have played with it to just see how bad a song they could have put in and still win.
So like.
They should have put Jendrik up.
So we got Jendrik.
They should have ran it back and put in Jendrik.
Actually, Jendrik's Ukrainian.
Dude, Jendrik could join the Foreign Legions.
Yeah. That's where he was. He's fighting.
He just feels sorry for Putin.
Yeah. He's just there blasting, I don't feel hate, like the Donbass. So I gotta agree with you that like the verses of that were weak, but however, whenever like rap happens in a language I don't understand, I'm just like, you're keeping rhythm. Mm-hmm. Good job.
Mm-hmm. You can say things fast in that language too. That's, honestly, no sarcasm. That's kind of cool.
And the chorus is really strong, which is why the end of the song is just like them repeating the chorus 4 times.
Yeah. They downplayed Pink Bucket Hat Boy.
They knew their strengths.
It was literally NATO Make-A-Wish night.
All right.
And I mean that in the most literal sense because if I remember how Make-A-Wish works, it's like a child with a terminal illness who's like, I want to be a football player. And it's like, you can't be, so here's a football. And it's like, well, you can't join NATO, but you can win Eurovision this year. Now, back to you in the studio.
Oh, the studio's gone? Oh, Jesus. So I'm going to push back on this a little bit, even though it's very funny.
Okay.
So Kalush Orchestra was not the act that they were going to send. I think we talked about this before, but the person who won the national selection process in Ukraine, with like mostly the jury vote, it seems, because they do again the same kind of thing, half jury, half televote. She was actually not set to win, according to the bookies. She was actually set to do like, fine, but not well enough, like probably top 5 at the end of the day. She didn't get to go because this thing surfaced that she traveled to Crimea after annexation without permission from Kiev.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What was she doing there?
Probably nothing. She's just a woman. It was definitely a campaign drummed up by like weird nationalist types online in Ukraine who are just like think this is the greatest offense anyone could commit. And also it's not confirmed whether she did or not because she stepped down before it to make it basically kind of go away. But then they picked Kalush Orchestra to go because they won second in the competition, but they won second with 56% of the televote. So again, they were actually like people's choice because that's 56% of the televote split amongst there was 8 contestants, including this woman who won, quote unquote. So it was obviously the smart move to actually send them, even though it was reluctantly the move. I think the jury could have rat fucked Ukraine. I think no matter what happened, you're right. They probably would have gotten 400 something points from the public, no matter what they sent. But Kalush Orchestra did fine with the jury. I think like top 10, like 6th place or something with the
They
jury.
did get all their jury votes from politically sympathetic countries.
From a lot of Eastern Europe as well. Yeah, absolutely. Including some places that I didn't think. But we'll get to that in a minute. So
I will just add, does not disprove the thesis. NATO's got some shooters out there.
Absolutely
NATO
not.
could be doing a false flag operation, blaming it on some internet trolls.
Oh, we'll get to
when
that.
it was really coordinated.
Well, we'll fucking get to that. Which there's some fun drama. I'm wondering what we could talk about first. Actually, let's fucking go with this. Something we missed on the night when we did our live show was the grand final of Eurovision 2022 was on, and at 20 past midnight German time, Italian time, just before the voting segment launched, the EBU, European Broadcasting, released this following statement, suggesting more than a bit behind-the-scenes drama. Okay, here we go. Statement from the European Broadcasting Union.
Attention, this is your European Broadcasting Union speaking.
This is the High Council of a Swedish guy by telephone.
When 5 or more Swedish men are in a room, it's called the European Broadcasting Union.
In the analysis of jury voting by the European Broadcasting Union, pan-European voting partner, after the second dress rehearsal of the second semi-final of the 2022 Eurovision Song Contest, certain irregular voting patterns were identified in the results of 6 countries. In order to comply with the contest's voting instructions, the EBU worked with its voting partner to calculate a substitute aggregated result for each country concerned for both the second semi-final and the grand final, calculated based on the results of other countries with similar voting records.
So, break that down for me. Worked with its voting partner to like predict how the votes should go?
There's like there's an observer that's like a third party that also flagged this as like there's irregular voting patterns. And I'm going to finish the statement here, sorry.
I want to know who the regular voting patterns. Okay, but keep going.
This process was acknowledged by the independent voting monitor, so all caps, that's the name of the agency. The EBU takes any suspected attempts to manipulate the voting of the Eurovision Song Contest extremely seriously and has the right to remove such votes in accordance with the official voting instructions, irrespective of whether or not votes are likely to influence the results and or outcome of the voting. So they never released the statement, I don't think they, or didn't for a long time, of who the 6 countries were, but eagle-eyed people on the Eurovision website realized that 6 countries didn't have their juries listed. Like you could look up like who are the jurors for Germany, who are the jurors for for whatever country, and found out that Poland, Romania, San Marino, Montenegro, Georgia, and Azerbaijan had not their jurors listed. And I fucking said at the night, Azerbaijan had bought some fucking votes. Because they got so many 12-point votes from so many from 3 different countries, Spain, Serbia, and Greece.
Azerbaijan it was actually kind of sweet because the performer seemed genuinely surprised about all the votes they were getting.
Yeah. Oh, like, he's a patsy. He's not involved in this. It's like, Ilyev is doing this, the fucking dictator of Azerbaijan.
They love you.
Yeah. We're going to find out he's like his godson or something. And then they got like 3 points from the public, even though they were like 10th with the jury vote or something.
Well, the public doesn't have taste.
Yeah, that's it. So like that shit's going on. Romania is pissed. And if you remember on the night, there were certain points when they like didn't turn to the country, they turned to the guy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh, because they
refused to take part
because of the irregular voting patterns.
Their jury votes were scrapped.
Wait. Romania's jury vote was scrapped because they cheated or because others cheated?
So the only information we have now is from a Flemish state broadcaster said this. Okay. There was vote swapping. So like, I'll give you 12 points if you give me 12 points, that kind of shit.
The oldest trick in the book.
Yeah. However, these various state broadcasters are kind of pissed because they want further clarification from the EBU. And the EBU calculated their points based on like records of how jury votes had previously gone in like historical Eurovision, as well as like the televote, and like tried to assemble something that way. Romania was pissed because they gave their 12 points to Moldova. but the new results gave them to Ukraine. However, before anyone gets like suspect about Ukraine, two of the countries they fucked over, the other two countries that they fucked over, Poland and Georgia and Azerbaijan. Sorry, Georgia and Azerbaijan. They gave their 12 points to someone else, and their actual results said we give the 12 points to Ukraine.
What do you mean their actual results? You mean on the night of?
Like, no, the actual results is like what the jurors of those countries.
So the jurors actually submitted the votes, and then somewhere they're just like, here are the votes from the country, and they just lied.
Yeah, the EBU scrapped the actual official jury results from these 6 countries.
Okay.
And put in new aggregated ones that they like did some supposed math model on to figure out.
So the original from Georgia and Azerbaijan were not Ukraine.
No, they were Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Damn.
Yeah. And originally the 12 points from Romania was for Moldova, but the ones that the EBU made up was for Ukraine.
I hate when my parents fight. And by my parents, I mean all the 40 countries participating in Eurovision.
So, like, it's stupid. And, I mean, my assessment and my thing that I basically said on the night as well is that you need to go in with the assumption that the jury vote is stupid, bought, paid for, corrupt, like not to be respected.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole point.
Yeah.
Play the field.
Because like the jury vote put like the UK first. And it's not a good song. It's the best song they've sent in a long time, but it wasn't a good song. It was stupid. Other thoughts on what you remember? You had some spicy picks.
I did have some spicy picks. Most of them being just things that didn't make it through. Which one did I love?
You had like Slovenia first, or something.
Latvia was.
Oh, everyone loved Latvia. People were pissed about Latvia not making it through.
Well, Latvia was objectively annoying, but in the Jendrik sense, where, as the kids say, they understood the assignment. And most Eurovision countries don't understand the assignment.
Sure,
you got to go just a little too far. And I love that they pick like the whole conceit of the song was that they're impressing an environmentalist. And it's like
that's the conceit of the music video. Yeah.
And I love eating salad was like how they do it. And something about it's like tongue in cheek, but I like the Eurovision songs that are a little evil. Like Norway this year. Which I said the night of sounds like Macron should hire them they should be like evil post Daft Punk, like the new Daft Punk for France. Macron's still like, look, we still have them. They're like the same thing, right? And Latvia, like hearing that song sounds like the like greenwashing of the European Empire.
Oh, it absolutely is.
That's like me listening to that song is I imagine how NatSec people felt with the like Russian troop buildup. They're like, how is no one seeing this? Do you see what's going on? Do you see what they're doing? They're rubbing it in our face.
Would it surprise you to know that Latvia was rat fucked by the jury in the semi-final?
Yeah, well,
no, the results are out.
It was too, some people are silenced for speaking the truth too soon.
But like speaking of like not understanding the assignment is the jury really decided this was the year of ballads. Like a lot of what I said about the Eurovision going in is like people are sad. People are like, I mean, that's true about a lot of the songs. A lot of the songs were sad. A lot of the songs were like about lost innocence and stuff like that. And that makes sense for a year where there's like a ground invasion happening. Mm-hmm. But like, that is not what people voted for. The jury was wrong compared to the public. Like, Ukraine song, relatively sorrowful. Like, the song was about his mom, Stefania, but it's like, it's about my mom, wink, wink. It's about the country. And Moldova's was like incredibly fun, and that came second with the public vote. Spain was horny, and that came third, both overall and with the public vote. And then like the ballads, like the UK came fifth, and Sweden, fucking Then we're down to Italy. Poland was the same. Like they're all just kind of like beaten by more fun or weirder songs. Like even though I hate Norway, they beat a lot of the ballads too. So yeah. So they kind of got that wrong. Any other thoughts about some of the entries?
I was feeling spicy the night of. I wrote down all sorts of things that were just wild things I was going to say, and then most of the songs I picked didn't make it.
You had Slovenia in your top 10.
Slovenia
came dead last. Like the semifinal results are out dead last.
I think Germany was good too. I don't like the music, but he did an excellent job combining. He could be like I want him to be like he should link up with Attila Hildmann and be like the Tom McDonald in Germany. He should make ballads about the truth of what's going on.
Yeah. I appreciated that when we got to the televote and they cut to him, he's just pounding down vodkas.
Why not?
Yeah. Germany came last.
I did like Slovenia. I believe the note I wrote was, this is like how punk rock was good under Reagan.
All right. Yeah, like Yasha Disco.
Yasha Disco.
Yasha Disco.
It's going to be fondly looked back on. It's going to be cult classic.
My general response to like the results, a lot of the like top 5 or top 10, I kind of expected. I think France got rat fucked. I liked France with their like Breton Goa shit. I thought
that was pretty good.
That was good. The surprising one for me was Finland. Like the Rasmus did worse than the like post-hardcore band that Finland sent last year.
Finland did better this year.
No, they did better last year.
Oh yeah, I mean,
but
they kind of leaned more into it last year.
Because there was. But that's the thing. Like, do you remember In the Shadows? Did you know that like Finland's entry this year is like famous?
No.
Oh, okay. Right, so you're missing this. Yeah. Okay, I need Yulia and Nick here for this because they know this. Like, Rasmus are big. Like they're.
That sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah,
maybe it's just because you were.
I've been searching. I've been waiting in the shadows all my life. 2003, I think. But he's old now. I think that was a problem. But like, yeah, they came like fifth last. Worse than the unknown kind of like heavy band that they sent last year, which is, I think, fun.
You know what? It was not a very good year for Sweden. Didn't go this route, which I feel like they often do. I consider it like Israel, Malta, Sweden. They always have like really like slickly produced, but like not in a way that I like, at least. Like, I like when it's a little evil, but there's something about them that it's like
it's too squeaky clean.
It's like
Disney radio.
It's the first thought I had was if it's like someone gave like an unlimited budget to like producing the in-flight airline video, like showing you how to like buckle in your seats. It's like, what if we just went crazy with it and we all sang? Like, there's a certain tone that's a bit not only grating, but I can't talk myself into liking something about it like I can with some of them.
Do you know what it reminds me of? You mentioned airlines. Did you ever see the ads Jennifer Aniston did for United Arab Emirates, like airline?
Oh no, I feel like that's a Twitter thing I saw 5 years ago.
I feel like it was before Twitter, or at least before when I was on
like
Twitter,
one of those that it's like, remember when
right, but like it was so like squeaky clean, there's no conflict, there's no grit, there's no edge. It's just like Jennifer Aniston in what is an objectively like nice, but like nice in a disconcerting kind of way, plain. Yeah, I get you. I understand what you're saying. Like, yes, I do think Sweden is all about that life in the Eurovision, 100%. And this is what it was too. And I think a couple of people pointed out that Sweden's song this year was like technically impressive, but it was also very Hold Me Close, Tiny Dancer was also very close to like Shallow by Lady Gaga. It wasn't terribly original. I don't know if you heard it, but like Croatia's entry this year was just a Taylor Swift song. It was just Willow by Taylor Swift. It didn't make it through, but it was
I wrote, I think it was horny, I forgot.
Croatia? Yeah, sure.
There were a lot of them, man.
Yeah. It was 40 songs. It's a whirlwind.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it was pretty respectful. I like that we got the room popping off for Spain. I think our room was a pretty good barometer for like what was happening for Ukraine, because I don't know if you noticed, but every time Ukraine got points or did well, the room would just kind of like golf clap, which I think perfectly captures the move of just like, this is respectable. This is what we have to do. We have to vote for Ukraine. I'm not sure I like Pink Bucket Hat Man. My favorite this year, obviously Serbia. That song after the fact is still like haunting me. I spent most of the first half of this week explaining people what was going on in that song because no one knew. And it has pushed me over the edge and convinced me to try and learn Serbo-Croatian. A thing I said I would do when I visited Croatia in 2013, and now I'm trying. Was that really it? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm already like
That's
doing
really
it because the
sweet.
chorus is biti strava, which is be healthy, like imperative. And I'm like, these are words I've already encountered in like lesson 1 on the internet that I've been doing, because strava is related to stravo, which is another way of saying hello, but in a more formal sense, where you just say health. I'm learning.
If you don't like that, you don't like Europe. Ciarán's learning Serbo-Croatian.
I just genuinely haunting song. The line like "God give us health because I'm on my own" is really fucking good.
Yep.
But yeah, that's there is one big elephant in the room of this Eurovision though, which is who will host next year. Because whoops.
It can be a thing, you know. Next year in Kiev.
Oh no,
You can say it every year.
No. Have you not heard what Zelensky has said?
No? What did he say?
Next year in Mariupol.
Brilliant. Let's do it.
Fine, let's go.
That's just what the doctor ordered. A little Eurovision.
So, both like the statements that have come from Ukraine have basically implied if there is peace, which makes sense. I believe Pisiuk, which is pink bucket hat guy, said
The Star Child.
he literally referred to it, see you next year in a new peaceful Ukraine, which is pretty obvious. And then the fact that Zelensky said Mariupol is kind of like implying a lot of stuff. So some form of peace by next year is not impossible, I guess. So in my eyes, there's like 3 possibilities, and it depends on who says no, basically. So possibility number 1, there's peace by next year, and they hold it in probably somewhere like Kiev or Lviv, probably like as far away from it. They're not going to, like, even if they win or like they get to keep Eastern Ukraine in some sort of peace settlement, they're not holding it there, I can't imagine. Number 2 possibility, which is I think the least likely possibility, is Ukraine at some point says no, which they're not going to do for morale reasons, I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think anyone officially is going to admit we are so on the back foot that we can't host glorified X Factor. So they're not going to say no. But if they did, what's meant to happen is you give it to who came second, which would be the UK. Because apparently it's not, you don't win the right to host, you win a thing that's technically referred to as first right to refuse. Which is like, you have the first chance to say no to hosting the Eurovision. And then it will go to second, and then third, and then fourth. And that has happened before. Like, the Netherlands won it in the 70s when they were going through like a massive economic crisis. So they were like, we can't afford it. So, and then the UK hosted it because they came second.
Something tells me, though, that people would not refuse that today, even if there are massive economic
Oh,
crises.
absolutely not. And actually, Italy did it this year. I think they've probably made a profit by keeping it kind of small and not putting it in Rome. They've made some smart decisions in that regard, rather than like I think Denmark is still paying it off from when they last hosted it.
Hey, but it was worth it.
No, it
What a
wasn't.
crazy year.
It sucked because that was after Sweden had hosted it for the first time in like the 2010s, and that's when they decided actually Eurovision has to be funny, like in the same way that Give a Wolf a Banana is funny. It's like when we entered like Joss Whedon cringe soy banter Eurovision. Yeah.
Who's the Chris Rocco's Eurovision?
Who's the guy who's doing all those like Klarna ads now? He should host next time Sweden wins.
I don't know, dude. You've been watching a lot of TV.
It's not on TV. It's in every fucking Späti. Like where they have the monitors up, where they're like telling you to go use Klarna. They'll find one eventually. Anyway,
That guy.
yeah, that guy.
Gotta get that guy.
Famous rapper from Sweden that no one probably thinks is Swedish. Is it ASAP something? Who am I thinking of? Fuck it, doesn't matter. Genuinely doesn't matter. Third option, which I think is probably one of the more likely ones, is the EBU, the European Broadcasting Union, says no. They come along and play the bad guy and say, this is a security concern. This isn't going to make us any money. Everyone will be too afraid to come. In which case, I suspect, and the reason why I think this is most likely, because I think this is the most like, this is the best option in terms of like press relations, is they give Ukraine the Australia option, which is you co-host in a country of your choice. That's not you. And to that fact, I think already, because people already know this is an issue, the UK, Spain, Sweden, and Italy and Poland have all already offered to host it next year, even though it's like been 4 days since the Eurovision.
Well,
So yeah,
they're all showing that they're Ukraine's best friend.
it's gonna be Poland, right? This has gotta be Poland.
It's worth a shot.
It's not gonna be Spain. No one's making that train.
You never knew. You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe Spain and Ukraine,
Spain are going in on fucking Eurovision. This is the first time they've been in the top 5 for 27 years or
I could
something
see
like
that. I could see Spain dominating Eurovision.
Yeah.
Spain has the like. They also are big into like reggaeton. They have just like
There's
this
a Spanish-
production of like
Yeah.
off like people speaking Spanish and just producing like these mega hits and stuff. And
Spanish language music revival, is
Yeah,
happening now.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was talking to my family who live in Spain, and they're saying like it's a huge thing now that like even 5 years ago, every like teenager in this country was listening to English language music, and now none, because they're all listening from stuff that's coming from like Puerto Rico or like Mexico and stuff. So yeah.
taking over Eurovision.
Yeah, it would work. But that's Eurovision.
What about were there Russian hackers?
There was Russian hackers. Yeah, I don't know how much I believe that.
This is like this is like the peak. This is the like whatever this Ocean's 11 heist is, like the biggest attack you can do. Like
European
the fucking
Ocean's
rookies
11.
train on the U.S. presidential elections.
Yeah. No, this is your dry run before like. So Italian police have claimed that there was a pro-Russian hacker group attempting to do something, attacked the semi-final and some Italian institutions, Senate and the health agency in Italy, by groups dubbed Killnet and Legion. I don't really know what the goal is. Like, I feel like it's just a bunch of Russian teenagers that were going to make like the TV screen spell the word gay or something, but spelt wrong because they're Russian. It would just be like GAI or something.
You'll get them next year.
Oh man, that actually, if it is in Ukraine. That's just going to be a fucking ridiculous
Yeah,
thing.
den of spies. How many assassinations are there going to be in the Eurovision in the bathroom?
Okay, no, spicy shit that will happen in 2023 Eurovision, right? If there is peace, if it is held actually on like Ukrainian soil, will they let Russia back?
I don't know. Probably not. Right?
Yeah, right? What?
Then we need Russovision. We need them to spin off and have their own.
That's my theory. They'll do like, if they really care and they're like, if the ban holds, they're going to do like an internal, like, Russovision.
Can we participate in Russovision and field like the Berlin entry? We just find.
Oh yeah, we can be all like the middle class. Like we could represent the population of like weird middle class Russians who were all from Volgograd and claim to have like German grandparents.
Yeah,
that's why they're here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We should. I'm sure they have great. I don't know what the song would be.
Oh no, I
don't know what would win at Russovision.
I don't either.
I don't know what I have. It's like saying
we're going in blind.
It's the same color blue that I see as the one you see. I don't know what Russovision see. I don't know what is possible. What can be perceived through this vision?
It's a lot of guys wearing what I imagine is the manliest clothes you can wear in Russia, which is a ill-fitting black hoodie, and like pretty much nothing else, like trousers, I guess, black trousers. I'm just imagining it's just one of those, like, if you've seen any of those like Z propaganda videos, maybe just like one of those. We send one of those. We say something stupid like Berlin is Russian. That's the name of the song.
We send that in, but every single Russovision entry also did a Z-inspired video. It's like, you got to zig, you got to zag when everyone's zigging.
We got to go different. Should have said the Rasmus.
My Z ballad. It's like I'm being sued for copyright
infringement.
I just also believe in Z.
This is Taylor Swift's Willow about how Berlin is Russia. Oh Jesus, I don't know what would win. All right, so we've been going for an hour. I think we have like enough time left to do this. There was an election in Germany.
We returning to our bread and butter. Eurovision and German elections.
Yeah, something less important happened this weekend, which is Germany's most populous state of like 18 million people had an election. Whatever. However, I think this is a lot of stuff that Rob has said in the past coming home to roost, because Rob many moons ago claimed that Baden-Württemberg and its Schwarz-Grün politics was the future of Germany. And that seems to be what has happened. So everyone's talking about this as like a loss for like the current coalition and stuff like that. SPD aren't doing well in supposedly like their stronghold state or whatever. CDU's done well, but also so have the Greens. Their best result ever with 18.2%.
I love how the Greens, this is the first election, in 4 years, right? So 2018?
Yeah, I think so.
But it's just like it's like saving a present for like the day after Christmas or something. And it's like, it's not like there's some big new green wave. It's like, no, this is just what's happened in the past 4 years. It's just, you just saved your gift and it's like, oh, I got another one. 18%. Let's go.
But the government before this election was a black-yellow minority government, and now they're looking at a black-green majority government. So this does seem to be what they're going for. So, future of German politics, black-green, it's coming, baby. It's coming to Germany's most populated state, so there you go. But I want to talk about the guy who's currently at the head of NRV CDU, because he's kind of a character. As much as like anyone who's like a functionary in the CDU could be a character, I guess. Like it's like
he was produced by a character select screen in the CDU in the CDU game.
Calling someone from like calling a functionary from the CDU like a character is like saying like is like taking a bite of like buttered, untoasted white bread and going like, yeah, I'm feeling this. This hits right.
Sometimes it does hit right.
Sometimes it does.
That's all you need. Sometimes if you're cycling on your brand new e-bike through the rolling hills along the Rhine, and you think, I have a vision of who must fix the problems in our wonderful land.
And that man is Hendrik Wüst. I think I'm saying
I don't know even how to say it. Wüst? Hendrik Wüst?
Hendrik Wüst. So he literally rose to prominence because Armin Laschet was the head of the state. He stood down to run for Bundeskanzler. And Wüst took over. And now he's supposedly the rising star of the CDU. He's been with the CDU for a long time. He was in the Junge Union and stuff like that back when he was in college. Mm-hmm. And his job for most of his life before becoming a politician was, of course, an EU lobbying agency.
That's what the kids do nowadays. Yeah. People are like, when are we gonna have our first TikTok president? That's the fucking job, all right? So don't have the same jobs as your parents.
Yeah,
I'm an EU lobbyist.
This guy is surviving on like $100 a day or $100 a week in Brussels.
He when you give a Junge Union member the Spargo stone, they evolve into rising star of the CDU.
All right,
so the natural course of things.
I want to talk about EUTOP International GmbH. EUTOP. Dude, she gave me that EUTOP.
Everyone loves EUTOP. Everyone. That's what's making this whole thing going.
Yep.
Dreaming of EUTOP.
I have to admit that was the first thing I thought of, and I had to look up the guy who organized the orgy that Fidesz politician was calling. I was like, what's up with this guy? What's he doing? He's on the lam. It wouldn't surprise you. Anyway. So, EUTOP has been around for a very, very long time. Its main goal seems to be lobbying for German businesses and their interests within the EU. However, they've had some things in the past. So, in the late 90s, early 2000s, they made a political information website and search engine called Polixia that worked closely with the ZDF and Focus magazine. It's as like a neutral place where you could look up political information. Oops, it's not neutral, and it seems to be like pushing people towards the CDU and FDP by quite a bit. A classic example of what is referred to as journo lobbying, which is presenting something as journalism that's actually like lobbying.
I want to be like, as a politician, talk about journo lobbyists the way people talk about like coal miners or something.
Yeah.
They're being like, this is who it's all for.
Yeah. Like you're doing.
This is who we are as a people.
You're doing like a Fox News town hall.
Yeah,
with
I want Tucker Carlson to be like, where are the journal lobbyists?
Yeah. Well, you have like the journal lobbyists on stage that you're interviewing to like, while you're giving your speeches, they like consult him to say like, oh, would that play well with you? And for whatever reason, he still has like coal dust smeared in his face. Yeah. Like wearing a hard hat.
I want them to all be wearing hard hats, have all their light on their hat.
It's a reading light.
And being like, and then be like, you read the latest, Jan Fleischhauer?
Focus. Yeah. So it was also used to launder donations to the FDP in 2006. And EUTOP would then go on to pay individual FDP members enormous speaking fees.
That's what EUTOP is getting. EUTOP. Being in the FDP and getting paid enormous speaking fees.
Yeah. This is the Guido Westerwelle era. So this is before Christian.
Lindner.
Before our boy. He's mentioned by name in a handful of investigative reports around EUTOP and some WikiLeaks documents as well, as like personally receiving like €6,000 for like a 15-minute speech. So yeah,
getting EUTOP in the WikiLeaks.
It's I'm sorry, but I'm just imagining Grimes dating. Hey, what's the WikiLeaks guy again?
Oh, Assange.
Assange.
What?
Its staff are mostly former politicians and staffers of various EU governments, primarily German. They brag about this. They like say this on the website, like we have the inside track to various European governments, and also again to our point earlier, heavily embedded in the government in the Landtag of Baden-Württemberg. Like this is the man behind the man behind the man behind the throne is EUTOP.
That is the best throne you can have too.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's
beautiful.
Like solar panels on it.
No, man, it's like a Schwarzwald cuckoo clock, but it's like a throne that you sit in. It's gorgeous, actually. Keebler elves live inside it. Evil, very conservative Keebler elves.
Very, Keebler elves who know how to balance their budget. Okay,
but EUTOP is nonpartisan. It is staffed by former politicians from primarily the CDU, but also the FDP and SPD. So they're neutral. Like, so I'm going to list off their clients that we know about because they're mostly secret. This is like via various leaks.
These are people who've only gotten EU-topped in public.
Yes, it's not that sloppy secret EUTOP. All right, Bayer, Burda, Deutsche Post, Kraus Maffei Wegmann, Microsoft Germany, BMW, Deutsche Telekom, Südzucker, Uniper, British American Tobacco, Phoenix Pharma, Amadeus IT Group, and Alzchem. So classic just giant German companies that like hire 1 million people but then like do not have any consumer facing goods, so you don't really think about them all that much.
The way the Lord intended it.
Yeah, don't notice us. We don't have any big companies in Germany. No, it was so sad. There's no German Google. Yeah, we make all the cars. Anyway,
well, what's funny is when they made German Google, it was just
it was Felixia. It was funneling FTP donations. So anyway. This is the job he had for a very long time, was like senior job at EUTOP. He was near the top of EUTOP. He then moves into like CDU, NRV politics. He was general secretary from 2006 to 2010, where he resigned due to Rutger's fundraising scandal. Rutgers being the former prime minister, Bundesland minister, what was that called again? Minister President of NRV, a CDU politician, had a scandal where he would where companies paid upwards of €20,000 to get advertising space in the CDU party hall and have one-on-one closed-door meetings. So 20,000 is the beginning price for that. With Jürgen Rutgers. It's worth pointing out that our boy Wust was the fall guy for this scandal. He resigned and took all the blame in a very like Weasley statement where he was like, I didn't know what was happening, but I guess I'm out of a job now.
Yep.
And now he seems to be being rewarded for being loyal to the CDU machine and protecting Rutgers. Fun fact, I found out about Rutgers. He ran a campaign at one point on the slogan of Kinder statt Inde, of children instead of Indians. It rhymes.
What does that even mean?
No, he was like, it's literally a great replacement shit. Kinder statt Inde. Even though there was like sweet fuck all Indians in this country. It just rhymed.
Oh my god.
There's no word in German for children that rhymes with like Turkish person.
The point is,
I love NRV politics.
The point is that it's in good hands now.
Yeah. So what has Wust been doing since, right? He is the co-author with Zoda, from Bavarian politics, of a position paper in the CDU entitled Modern Bourgeois Conservatism, why the union must think about its roots again, right?
Again, the roots is what we've been discussing for the past 10 minutes. Kinderstädtende, businesses that are insanely powerful and rich and no one knows about. And bullshit, fake journalism lobbying. That has something to do with Europe.
Yeah. But
the bread and butter.
That's not good enough. So this results in a group within the CDU known as the Einstein-Kreis.
Of course, you know. So fucking smart.
So that's the Einstein Circle, I guess.
Yeah.
And for anyone wondering if it's named for the very smart German Jew Albert Einstein, no. It is named for the Starbucks-like cafe that exists in Germany, Einstein Coffee. Which, yeah, it's like Starbucks. It's like Costa Coffee, if you know that.
Could be a pun.
Yeah. No, they literally met and wrote this in an Einstein Coffee. That's probably like the most upsetting thing to me is like you're involved in so much like weird corruption and working for a company that just like prints money from like British American tobacco or whatever, and you're like, where we go out for lunch? Einstein Coffee. Yeah, I love paying €4 for the thinnest slice of cheesecake I've ever seen in my fucking life.
I'm gonna restart the Red Army faction in a Le Cobag. I can't get my passions aroused unless my tomato mozzarella costs at least $4.60.
That's what are we on, like the fifth era of the RAF? Yeah, that's the Crowbag RAF. God damn it. So, they existed largely as a group that thought Merkel was cucked, but not to the extreme extent that the Werte Union thought that Merkel was cucked. They're kind of like sensible middle ground. Big fans of the social market economy, family and church. I guess their only decent opinion is that they're like against deindustrialization. They think Germany should have a manufacturing base. And it shouldn't be like gone away, but you know, good luck pushing against that tide. Very strict on immigration, very strict on like punishment for infringing on a crime. Really pissed off at the 1968 generation.
Yeah, because you can just blame everything on them.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, they're annoying.
And probably their wildest opinion that like. So one of the criticisms of the Einstein-Kreis is that they don't make a lot of their opinions expressly known. They're kind of like
really, you wouldn't say.
Yeah, right?
They just say things like we're against deindustrialization.
Yeah. They just like
have we told you about the 68ers lately?
They're a little Weasley. They don't like make their opinions known so they can try and like survive because they're functionaries and opportunists or whatever. So the only like really out there and concrete position they seem to have, which I think is kind of wild for a German position, is the police should be allowed to do mass data collection of citizens, like Snowden shit.
You know why?
Why?
I'm sure there's money to be made off of that.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine?
We're bringing back
Can you
Polixia.
imagine the police top we could get with that kind of data?
We got EUTOP and Polizeitop. So yeah, that's the rising star of Germany's CDU, as they've been looking for one for a while now because they're kind of rudderless at the moment.
Again, please look him up. Look at a picture of him. He looks like the man the CDU needs.
Oh yeah. Other notes from the NRV election is the Guardian ran a headline about their piece on it was just like populism loses because AfD and Die Linke both did poorly.
That's going to be a headline in like 2056. It's just like how can we report on this? Well, populism's declining.
Yeah. The sensible election in Baden-Württemberg saw reasonable conservatives Dritte Weg win this week against I don't know, the Ustasha party headed by Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin. Mecha Kevin Spacey is inflaming the passions of the people.
Yeah.
We need a cordon sanitaire around him, and we need to work with the respectable, the people we know.
Yeah, the center left AFD and the center right Dritte Weg. Volt did worse than Die Basis.
Here's your Volt update, folks.
Here's your Volt update. Volt did as well in Cologne that they did in the Netherlands in that election. They kind of won.
I mean, that tracks, because as I understand, the Netherlands is one big Cologne.
Pretty much. That's my understanding too. Yeah, and that's the bonus episode for this week. We covered all the topics. I've been gone for like 2 weeks, so I just kind of like jizzed some notes out for the first time in a long time. And I had a lot of stuff to talk about.
That's Europe, baby.
Things we're going to acknowledge, if you're wondering that we didn't bring up. Yes, we know about Sweden and Finland joining NATO. We'll do an episode on that later. Yes.
That seems bad.
It does seem very bad. And yes, we do know about Berlin just arresting everyone on the anniversary of the Nakba. So
also bad.
It's also bad. Aren't you glad we talked about Kevin Spacey and EUTOP?
EUTOP.
Probably not get over those. Look at the EUTOP website right now.
Why would you try to do anything else here except try to get some EUTOP?
Yeah.
The CDU wants you to get EUTOP. People are trying to take away your EUTOP.
Yeah.
And the CDU just wants sustainable, lasting, green-proofed EUTOP.
EUTOP. There it is. There's the EUTOP website.
Oh. All right. Well, I feel safer and more inspired already.
Yeah. We can get EUTOP for like every country. Want to do some lobbying in Japan? Shit. Oh, hell yeah. Look, it's a Japanese.
I've never considered in my life whether I would like to be a lobbyist in Japan, but I will spend some time thinking about it, Ciarán.
You haven't watched Lobby no Senpai? The lobbying anime?
All right. A lobbying lobbying anime. We need a lobbying anime.
Yeah, why not?
CDU, take notes.
Take notes. EUTOP co-production. Netflix will greenlight it. No, they're actually axing like every animated show at the moment because they're hemorrhaging money. Oh. But still, yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that's happening. The fucking NASDAQ is crashing.
Is it? I don't keep track of that stuff.
Oh man, no, it's every tech company is just losing money, including Apple.
All right, well,
it's not going good, folks. New recession coming up.
Maybe that's okay in some way. I don't know.
Is it?
As long as Apple doesn't join NATO. I call that a W. Chalk that up. Put it on the board.
Yeah, that's the area would block this one. Walmart. Newest NATO member. God damn it. All right. See you Monday. Ciao, ciao.